Captain Sarah Chen stood motionless on the bridge of the EDS Resilient, her dark eyes fixed on the massive holographic display showing thousands of unknown vessels entering the solar system. After 15 years of space exploration, humanity had finally made first contact, but not in the way anyone had hoped. Multiple signatures detected crossing the Kuiper Belt, Captain Lieutenant James Rodriguez reported, his fingers dancing across the neural interface console. Configuration unknown. No match in our database. Sarah's jaw tightened. The Resilient was Earth's most advanced deep space vessel, incorporating breakthrough technologies in quantum computing and gravitational manipulation. But they had never expected to face an alien armada of this size. "How many?" she asked, keeping her voice steady. "Over 3,000 ships, Captain. Energy readings suggest significant weapons capabilities. They're maintaining perfect formation. This isn't a civilian fleet." Before Sarah could respond, every screen on the bridge flashed with an alien face. The creature had iridescent scales covering its elongated head and 4 glowing eyes arranged in a diamond pattern. When it spoke, the ship's AI translated, "Primitive species of Earth. I am Supreme Commander Vexthor of the Kralax Empire. Your solar system now belongs to us. Your technology is inferior. Your defenses are negligible. Submit to immediate occupation or face extinction." Sarah felt a cold anger rise in her chest. The Kralax had made the same mistakes so many others had throughout human history, assuming technological advancement was the only measure of strength. "This is Captain Sarah Chen of the Earth Defense Ship Resilient. We are a sovereign species with the right to self-determination. We request peaceful dialogue." The alien commander cut her off with a harsh sound. "You mistake this for a negotiation. Your species has barely mastered basic spaceflight. Our empire spans 1,000 worlds. You have 1 planetary rotation to surrender before we begin systematic orbital bombardment." The transmission cut off. Sarah immediately opened a secure quantum channel to Earth Defense Command. "Admiral Patel, please tell me you received that transmission." The Admiral's hologram appeared, her expression grim but determined. "We got it all, Captain. The Security Council is meeting now. What's your tactical assessment?" Sarah pulled up the sensor data. "Their technology is advanced, but they're overconfident. No attempt at electronic warfare or sensor masking. They don't expect any meaningful resistance." A slight smile crossed the Admiral's weathered face. "Then they're in for quite a surprise. Captain Chen, you are authorized to initiate Protocol Avalon." Sarah's eyes widened. Protocol Avalon was something she'd been briefed on only once, when she took command of the Resilient. The details had been classified beyond her clearance level. "Understood, Admiral. What about the colonies on Mars and Europa?" "Evacuation is already underway. We've been preparing for this possibility since we first detected anomalous signals 20 years ago. The Kralax think they're dealing with a primitive species that just achieved spaceflight. They don't know we discovered one of their probes 2 decades ago." Sarah began implementing defensive protocols, but curiosity got the better of her. "Admiral, is it true then? About Project Harbinger?" Patel's expression became serious. "You'll find out soon enough, Captain. Just be ready when they make their move. And Sarah, remember, humanity's greatest strength has always been our ability to surprise those who underestimate us." As the transmission ended, Sarah turned to her bridge crew. "Battle stations. Begin evacuating all non-essential personnel to the emergency shelters. Activate quantum shielding and power up all defensive systems." "Captain," Rodriguez called out, "the Kralax fleet is launching fighters. At least 500 small craft on an attack vector." Sarah watched the holographic display as waves of alien fighters approached. The Resilient was officially a research vessel, but she knew her ship held secrets that would soon change the course of this invasion. "Let them come," she said quietly. "Humanity has never backed down from a fight, and we're not about to start now." The first alien fighters reached weapons range, their energy weapons flaring against the Resilient's shields. But instead of impacting, the energy seemed to vanish into ripples of quantum distortion. Shields holding at 100%, Captain, the tactical officer reported with obvious satisfaction. The quantum absorption field is working perfectly. Their weapons are actually charging our capacitors. Sarah allowed herself a small smile. The Krelax were about to learn that humanity's apparent technological inferiority was a carefully crafted illusion. For 20 years, Earth had been preparing for this moment, developing technologies that would seem impossible to their enemies. All hands, she announced shipwide. Remember this moment. This is the day the galaxy learns why you should never underestimate human ingenuity. Tactical, target the lead fighter squadron. Show them what a primitive species can do. The Resilient's main cannon powered up, drawing on the energy absorbed from the enemy attacks. What the Krelax didn't know was that humanity had mastered quantum entanglement weapons, technology their sensors couldn't even detect. As the first shot fired, Sarah thought about all the times in human history when supposedly superior forces had dismissed humanity as primitive or weak. Like all those before them, the Krelax were about to learn a costly lesson about human determination. The battle for Earth was about to begin, and humanity was far from defenseless. Deep beneath the Rocky Mountains, Dr. Maya Patel raced through the gleaming corridors of Project Harbinger. Warning lights flashed along the pristine white walls as thousands of personnel rushed to their stations. After 20 years of preparation, the moment had finally arrived. Status report, she called out, entering the mountain's central command hub. The massive chamber held the largest quantum computer array ever built, its holographic displays showing real-time data from the battle above. The Resilient is engaging their advanced forces, reported Dr. Marcus Wong, his fingers flying across the neural interface. Captain Chen's quantum shields are performing beyond expectations. The Krelax don't understand why their weapons aren't working. Maya allowed herself a moment of pride. The quantum absorption technology had been her life's work, developed after studying the crashed Krelax probe. But that was just the beginning of what humanity had achieved in secret. Initialize the Guardian AI network, she ordered. Full integration with all orbital platforms. The chamber's main hologram shifted, displaying a shimmering digital consciousness taking form. Unlike the crude AIs the Krelax used, Guardian was a true sentient being, created through a breakthrough in quantum consciousness mapping. All systems online, Dr. Patel, Guardian announced, its voice carrying subtle harmonics that seemed to resonate with the human mind. I've analyzed the Krelax fleet's tactical patterns. They're predictable, relying on overwhelming force rather than strategic innovation. Maya nodded. They've been the dominant force in their region of space for too long. Complacency makes for poor tactical thinking. Show me the orbital defense grid. The hologram shifted again, revealing thousands of seemingly innocent satellites orbiting Earth. For decades, these platforms had appeared to be nothing more than communication relays and research stations. The Krelax were about to discover their true purpose. Supreme Commander Vexthor is broadcasting again, Guardian reported. He's demanding our immediate surrender. Put him through, Maya ordered. It's time he learned who he's really dealing with. The alien commander's scaled face appeared, his 4 eyes glowing with contempt. Your pathetic resistance is futile. One ship's unusual defenses cannot save you. Our main fleet approaches. Supreme Commander, Maya interrupted calmly. I am Dr. Maya Patel, Director of Earth Defense. Before you continue your threats, perhaps you'd like to know what that probe of yours told us when we found it 20 years ago. Vexthor's eyes widened slightly, the first sign of uncertainty he'd shown. Impossible. No probe. Oh, but there was. Maya smiled. It taught us so much about your technology. Of course, we've improved upon it significantly. Guardian, initiate the orbital defense grid. Authorization code. Prometheus. Across Earth's orbit, thousands of satellites suddenly transformed. Quantum fields shimmered as hidden weapons platforms emerged from dimensional pocket space. technology the Krelax had never mastered. Fascinating, Guardian observed. Their ship's energy signatures suggest genuine confusion. They truly believed we were defenseless. The Krelax commander's face had lost its arrogant expression. What are you? We are human, Maya replied simply. We saw you coming, so we prepared. For 20 years, we've been building, innovating, and surpassing your technology, while maintaining the illusion of primitive development. The quantum shields your fighters can't breach. That's old technology for us now. As if to emphasize her point, the orbital platforms fired simultaneously. Beams of concentrated quantum energy lanced through space, each shot passing through the Krelax shields, as if they didn't exist. Dozens of enemy ships vanished in silent explosions. Impossible. Vex Thor raged. No species could advance so quickly. That's where you made your critical mistake, Maya explained. You judge advancement by how long a species has had technology. We judge it by how quickly we can innovate, how well we can adapt. Humanity's greatest strength isn't our technology. It's our drive to overcome any challenge. Guardian's hologram shifted, showing tactical displays of more Krelax ships being systematically disabled by weapons they couldn't detect or defend against. Their fleet is falling into disarray, Dr. Patel. They have no protocols for this situation. Maya watched as the mighty Krelax armada began to break formation, their perfect military precision shattered by the revelation of humanity's true capabilities. But this was just the beginning. Commander Vex Thor, she said, I suggest you order an immediate retreat. What you've seen today is only a fraction of our defensive capabilities. The next wave will demonstrate our offensive technology. In orbit, the EDS Resilient had shifted from defense to attack. Captain Chen's ship now moved with impossible speed, its quantum drives allowing it to appear and disappear at will, striking from angles the Krelax couldn't predict or counter. This is not over, Vex Thor snarled, but the fear in his voice was evident. The Empire will not forget this insult. No, Maya agreed. You won't forget. And that's exactly what we want. Return to your empire, Commander. Tell them what you found here. Tell them about the species that deceived you, that surpassed your technology while pretending to be primitive. Tell them that Earth is not to be trifled with. As the Krelax fleet began a chaotic retreat, Maya turned to Guardian's hologram. Analysis. They will return, the AI confirmed, but they will come prepared next time, or so they'll think. Shall I begin implementing Phase 2 of Project Harbinger? Maya smiled. The Krelax thought they had just witnessed the full extent of human military technology. They had no idea that everything they'd seen today was merely humanity's first line of defense. Initiate Phase 2, she ordered, and send word to the deep space facilities. It's time to wake the Titan-class vessels. Admiral James Henderson stood at the command center of Jupiter Station Omega, watching as the massive form of the EDS Titan emerged from its dimensional dock. The ship was humanity's masterpiece, over 5 kilometers long, powered by an artificial quantum singularity, and equipped with technologies that would seem like magic to most species in the galaxy. Titan-class vessel Prometheus is fully operational, reported Commander Diana Wright. All systems nominal. The quantum core is stable and dimensional shielding is at maximum efficiency. The Krelax had retreated 3 days ago, but Earth's intelligence networks reported they were massing a far larger fleet. This time, they would come prepared for Earth's primitive defenses. What they couldn't know was that humanity had only revealed its most basic capabilities. Status of the neural interface systems, Henderson asked, watching as 3 more Titan-class ships emerged from their dimensional docks around Jupiter's orbit. All crews are successfully linked, Diana confirmed. The hybrid AI integration is performing beyond expectations. These ships aren't just vessels, they're extensions of human consciousness. Henderson nodded. After studying the Krelax probe, humanity had realized that conventional spacecraft design was hopelessly outdated. The Titans represented a completely new approach, ships that merged human intuition with artificial intelligence and quantum technology. Message from Earth Defense Command, Diana announced. The Krelax fleet has been detected entering the Oort cloud. Initial count suggests over 10,000 vessels. They still think numbers are what matter, Henderson mused. Initiate neural linkage. Let's show them how humanity fights when we're properly motivated. The quantum neural interface activated, and Henderson's consciousness expanded. Suddenly, he wasn't just standing in a command center. He was the Prometheus, feeling every quantum fluctuation, every gravitational eddy. The other 3 Titans joined the neural network, their crews and AIs merging into a single coordinated force. Through the vast sensor network humanity had secretly built throughout the solar system, Henderson could see the Krelax fleet approaching. Their ships were larger this time, heavily armored, with obvious energy shielding modifications designed to counter the weapons they'd faced before. They've adapted to our previous technology. Guardian's voice echoed through the neural network. But they're still thinking linearly. They haven't grasped the fundamental principles we've mastered. Henderson smiled internally. The Krelax had spent centuries conquering other species through brute force and superior numbers. They had never faced an enemy that could evolve faster than they could adapt. All Titan vessels, he commanded through the neural link, prepare for dimensional shift. Target coordinates are uploaded. Remember, we're not just defending Earth. We're showing the galaxy that humanity will not be conquered or intimidated. The 4 massive ships suddenly vanished, shifting through dimensions in ways the Krelax sensors couldn't detect. They reappeared in the heart of the alien fleet, but not as simple vessels of metal and energy. The Titans were mankind's proof that technology could be more than machines. It could be an extension of human will. Supreme Commander Vexthor's voice boomed across all frequencies. Earth vessels, your tricks will not work this time. Our shields air. The transmission cut off as the Titans unleashed their true power. Quantum singularities blossomed throughout the Krelax fleet, creating localized time distortions. Enemy ships found themselves fighting battles that had already ended, firing at targets that had moved seconds ago. Their tactical AI is attempting to compensate, Guardian reported. But they can't process fourth-dimensional warfare. Their entire strategic doctrine is based on 3-dimensional space. Through the neural link, Henderson could feel the confusion and fear spreading through the enemy fleet. The Krelax had come prepared for the technology they'd seen before, but this was beyond their comprehension. The Titans weren't just fighting in space. They were manipulating the fabric of reality itself. Multiple enemy ships attempting emergency faster than light jumps, Diana reported. Their formation is breaking down completely. Send the message, Henderson ordered. All frequencies, all languages. His words echoed across space. Attention Krelax Empire and all watching species. Let this serve as humanity's formal introduction to the galaxy. We have remained quiet, appearing primitive, while we studied and surpassed your technology. The ships you face today represent a fraction of our capabilities. Remember this moment. Earth is not your prey. We are not defenseless primitives to be conquered. We are humanity, and we will forge our own destiny among the stars. The Titan vessels moved in perfect synchronization, their quantum weapons tearing holes in space-time itself. Krelax ships found themselves displaced, their carefully planned formations shattered by technology they couldn't understand. Through the quantum neural network, Henderson felt a surge of pride from the combined consciousness of the crews. This wasn't just a military victory. It was humanity announcing its presence to the galaxy in a way that could never be ignored. Enemy fleet is in full retreat, Guardian announced. 87% of their vessels are either disabled or have fled the system. Shall we pursue? No, Henderson replied. They've learned their lesson. Now they'll spread the word. The galaxy needs to understand. Humanity will not be underestimated again. As the remaining Krelax ships fled in panic, Henderson looked through the Prometheus's quantum sensors at Earth, glowing blue and peaceful in the distance. Humanity had kept its true nature hidden for decades, appearing weak while growing stronger. Now, at last, they could take their place among the stars, not as conquerors, but as a force to be respected. The age of hiding was over. The age of humanity had begun. Ambassador Elena Santos walked into the grand chamber of the Galactic Concordat, her steps echoing through the vast hall. Representatives from over 500 species filled the tiered seats, all eyes fixed on the first human to ever address their assembly. The defeat of the Krelax fleet had sent shockwaves through galactic civilization. "The humans have much to answer for," growled Arkshan Zixtal of the Meridian Cluster, his crystalline form pulsing with agitation. They deliberately deceived the galactic community about their technological capabilities. Elena stood at the central podium, her dark skin contrasting with the white diplomatic uniform that marked her as Earth's representative. The chamber's quantum translators ensured every species would hear her words in their native language. "Deception," she asked calmly. "We simply chose not to announce ourselves until we were ready. Given the Krelax Empire's history of conquering primitive species, would you have advised differently?" Murmurs rippled through the chamber. The Krelax representatives had notably absent from this session, their empire thrown into political chaos after their fleet's humiliating defeat. "Your quantum manipulation technology violates several galactic treaties," announced Representative Venn, a being of pure energy contained within an environmental field. "Treaties your species never signed because you pretended to be pre-FTL primitives." Elena smiled slightly. "Treaties created by the dominant powers to maintain their technological advantages. Tell me, how many emerging civilizations have been conquered or subjugated because these treaties prevented them from developing effective defenses?" Silence fell over the chamber. It was an uncomfortable truth. The galaxy's power structure had long been maintained by keeping newer civilizations technologically dependent on the established species. "We have analyzed your battle recordings," said Lorith, the ancient historian of the Silicon consciousness. "Your ships displayed capabilities we thought impossible. Time manipulation, dimensional shifting, conscious integration with artificial intelligence. How did you advance so quickly?" "Because we had to," Elena replied. "When we found that Krelax probed 20 years ago, we learned we weren't alone in the galaxy. We also learned that many species out here would see us as nothing but territory to be conquered. So we adapted. We innovated. We evolved." The holographic displays activated, showing the Titan-class vessels in action. The assembled representatives watched in stunned silence as the massive ships warped reality itself, using technologies that many had theorized but none had mastered. "Humanity's greatest strength," Elena continued, "isn't our technology. It's our drive to overcome challenges. Where other species might take centuries to develop new technologies, we did it in decades, not because we're superior, but because we had to survive." "And now," asked Arkshan Zixtal, "with such power, what are your intentions?" "Conquest. Dominion." Elena shook her head. "If we wanted conquest, we wouldn't be here. We're here to establish diplomatic relations, to trade, to learn. But we're also here to make something very clear. Humanity will not be subjugated, controlled, or restricted by outdated treaties designed to keep emerging species weak." The chamber erupted in discussion. Some representatives appeared outraged, others intrigued, and more than a few seemed relieved. The galaxy's power structure had remained stagnant for millennia. Humanity's emergence represented change. "You propose a new way forward?" asked Lorith, his silicon form gleaming with interest. "We propose equality," Elena answered. "A galaxy where new species aren't automatically seen as inferior, where technological advancement isn't restricted by artificial treaties, where innovation is encouraged rather than controlled." She gestured to the holographic displays, which now showed Earth's solar system. "We remained hidden while we advanced because we had to. But now we offer our knowledge freely, to any species that wishes to learn, to grow, to evolve beyond artificial limitations." "The established order has maintained peace for thousands of years," protested Ven. "It's maintained stagnation," Elena corrected. "How many potential allies have we all lost because they were conquered before they could prove their worth? How many innovations have been suppressed to maintain the current power structure?" The Silicum consciousness representatives began pulsing with excited energy, a sign of agreement in their species. Others followed, particularly the younger civilizations who had long chafed under the restrictive treaties. "We don't seek to rule," Elena concluded. "We seek to inspire, to show what's possible when a species is allowed to develop without artificial restrictions. The galaxy is changing. The question is, will you change with it or cling to an order that's already crumbling?" As the chamber dissolved into intense debate, Elena noticed several representatives already approaching to discuss private alliances. The galaxy's power structure was shifting, and humanity had become the catalyst for change that many had secretly hoped for. The age of stagnation was ending. A new era of innovation and advancement was beginning, sparked by the species that had hidden its true nature until the perfect moment to emerge. 5 years after humanity's dramatic emergence onto the galactic stage, Captain Sarah Chen stood on the observation deck of the New Horizons Academy. The massive space station orbited Earth's moon, its crystalline windows offering a perfect view of both her home planet and the steady stream of alien vessels arriving from across the galaxy. Another group of students arriving from the Meridian cluster reported Guardian through their neural link. The AI had evolved significantly since the Krelax invasion, becoming something far beyond its original programming. They're particularly interested in quantum consciousness theory. Sarah watched as a crystalline ship docked with elegant precision. When Earth had first revealed its true technological level, many had expected humanity to become conquerors. Instead, they had become teachers. Dr. Patel's latest lecture on dimensional mechanics has already been requested by 300 different species. Guardian continued. The concept of using consciousness to manipulate quantum fields is revolutionizing their understanding of reality. The Academy had been Maya's idea, a place where species from across the galaxy could learn, innovate, and grow together. It had quickly become the greatest center of technological and scientific advancement in known space. Ambassador Santos has arrived from the Concordat session, Guardian announced. She says the final treaties have been signed. Sarah smiled. The old restrictive treaties that had kept emerging civilizations dependent on the established powers were being replaced. The new Galactic Innovation Accord, drafted largely by Elena Santos, guaranteed all species the right to technological self-determination. "Captain Chen," a harmonious voice called. Sarah turned to see Zareth, a young Krelax scientist, approaching with several data crystals floating around him. The sight would have been unthinkable 5 years ago, a Krelax learning from humans. "Your thesis on quantum propulsion theory is fascinating," Zareth said, his 4 eyes bright with excitement. "The idea of using consciousness as a catalyst for dimensional shifting, it completely contradicts everything we thought we knew about space travel. That's humanity's greatest gift to the galaxy," Sarah replied. "Not our technology, but our way of thinking. The willingness to question everything, to imagine new possibilities." Through the windows, she could see the EDS Prometheus in orbit, its massive form a reminder of humanity's power. But the ship no longer inspired fear. Instead, it had become a symbol of protection for emerging civilizations, ensuring they had the chance to develop without interference. "Message from Admiral Henderson," Guardian interrupted. "The first joint human-alien crew has successfully completed their deep space trial. The consciousness merger was perfect. They're achieving things we never imagined possible." Sarah nodded with satisfaction. When humans had first revealed their ability to merge consciousness with their ships and AIs, many species had been horrified. Now that same technology was enabling unprecedented cooperation between different forms of life. "The galaxy is changing so quickly," Zareth observed. "My people resisted at first, but now we understand what we were missing by relying only on conquest and control." Change isn't easy, Sarah acknowledged, but it's necessary for growth. Humanity hid our true nature for years because we had to. Now we can finally be ourselves, not conquerors, not primitives, but innovators and teachers. The observation deck filled with more students, energy beings, silicon life forms, crystalline entities, and dozens of other species all learning together. They no longer saw humans as a threat or an upstart species, but as partners in exploration and discovery. New ship detected entering the system, Guardian announced. Unknown configuration. It appears to be from beyond the galactic rim. Sarah smiled. Once, such a discovery would have prompted fear and defensive preparations. Now it brought excitement and curiosity. Humanity had changed not just themselves, but the very nature of first contact in the galaxy. Prepare a welcome message, she ordered. Let them know they're arriving in a place of learning and innovation. The age of fear and conquest is over. As the mysterious ship approached, Sarah thought about how far they'd come. Humanity had emerged from hiding not to dominate, but to elevate, to show the galaxy that true strength came not from power alone, but from the courage to imagine something better. The New Horizons Academy shimmered in the starlight, a beacon of hope and progress. Humanity had found its place among the stars not by conquest or submission, but by staying true to their greatest strength, the ability to dream of a better future and work tirelessly to make it real. The dawn of a new galactic age had begun, and humanity was proud to help light the way forward.